Good morning. It's indeed an honor and a pleasure to have this opportunity to speak to the Association of Counties. As Secretary Brown mentioned, I served one term on the County Board of Supervisors in Prince William before I went to Richmond. And after having that experience, I think that everyone going in the General Assembly should be required to serve one term on the County Board, City Council, or somewhere local government. Before I comment on the budget outlook, I'd like to extend my congratulations to Governor-elect Donald. He will be the 10th governor I've had the opportunity to serve with over my years. And my colleagues in the Senate and I both look forward to a very productive 4 years with Governor McConnell. This year I will complete my 35th year as a member of the Senate. And I can't recall a time when we ever faced a money crisis like we do today. Not only are these challenging times, they're anxious times as well. There's clearly an uncharted territory in this economy. For example, we are in the longest and deepest economic downturn since the Great Depression. This downturn has lasted twice as long as a typical recession. If you believe it's officially ended last summer, then we look back 50 years and we cannot find a general revenue decline as we did last year at 9.2%. There's a tremendous decline in revenue. There appears to be a sign that the worst is over, perhaps. We hope so. We hope that instead of V, it becomes a U and bottoms out and then goes back up. But if the recession, however, the recession isn't over until we feel like it's over. And people start going back to work, and we have some disposable income to spend. So we have no choice but to deal with the harsh reality of a much lower revenue forecast over the 2 years, if not longer. And of course, Secretary Brown has gone into that in detail. I wish I could tell you more about what to expect in the budget this fiscal year 2011 and 12. We got our first estimate of the budget when the House Appropriations Committee and House Finance Committee and members of the House meet in Richmond on November the 17th and 18th, and the members of the Senate meet in Portsmouth on November 19th and 20th. And at those two meetings, our staff will take up these issues and this question of where we stand. And usually they do a very good job. They'll come out with some numbers that generally hold up very well. Our next word on the budget will be on December 18th when Governor Kane submits his budget. And he will meet with money committees on December 18th in Richmond. Governor Kane plans to balance the budget. I don't know how he plans to do that. But I know that he takes this responsibility very serious. And I'm sure that he will not punt the ball to Governor McConnell. Governor Kane's budget will, of course, be amended by Governor McDonald when he takes office. However, the first word, when we get to the General Assembly, the General Assembly will work its will on the budget. That's when we really find out what the budget's all about and how tough it's going to be for you. We also know that the strategies for balancing the budget are not infinite by any stretch. In addressing the revenue shortfall last session, and this fall, we used up many of our one-time strategies, such as the rainy day fund. Fortunately, the federal stimulus funding helped us restore some funding for public education, but it's designed to stabilize and keep things moving. It was never intended to be a long-term solution. Now, as we get ready to put together a new budget, we face even more daunting problems. Our revenue base has lost 5 years of growth. We will have to find a way to replace the one-time measure that we used when using the federal stimulus funds that were proposed for education and health care. And if that weren't enough, we would face the cost of re-benchmarking public education and addressing steep growth in our Medicaid program. Friends, this is another multi-billion dollar problem. A new easy way or proper solution when you consider that half the state's general fund dollars are returned to localities with 4 major programs being K-12 education, car tax relief, local sheriff and police departments, and the community services for the mentally disabled. When we're able to protect these programs, so far because of the rainy day fund and the federal stimulus. The other half of the state's general fund dollars are used generally for higher education, Medicaid, and corrections. Having said that, we know that the state simply can't push all of our problems back at the local level. We cannot balance the state budget at the expense of our localities. These are tough times for transportation funding. And I would like to make a comment about the importance of leaving general fund dollars in the general fund. It has been proposed throughout the recent political campaigns, not just the governor's race, but throughout the political campaigns, that general fund dollars be used for transportation. If we use general fund dollars for this purpose, then we have no other alternative but to further reduce allocation to our localities and other critical programs. Governor-elect McDonald has proposed privatizing Virginia's ABC stores. I don't know why this wasn't discussed more during the campaign. In my opinion, this would be a mistake. Let's look at the revenues generated by Virginia's 355 ABC stores. In FY 2009, approximately $322 million was generated, including the liquor tax, the wine tax, the beer tax, and the sales tax. $322 million also included a $111 million profit from the ABC stores. 60% of these funds are allocated to the Department of Health, Mental Health, and mental retardation and substance abuse. If we sell our liquor stores, $111 million profit now generated by the Commonwealth would disappear. If we're going to sell the ABC stores, a sale of $500 million as proposed would be deposited in the Transportation Trust Fund. This would be a one-time use of $500 million. It sounds like a lot of money. However, Northern Virginia would receive about $140 million of those funds. Tidewater, a somewhat lesser amount, and the balance would be distributed throughout the state. If liquor stores are worth $500 million, keep in mind that we presently have a $500 million business that is producing a 20% profit or better each year. It seems to me that it would be very bad business to sell this revenue resource. We need to work together. I hope to talk to the governor about that. Maybe I can change his mind, or maybe he can change mine. I don't know. We need to work together to set our priorities. The General Assembly cannot balance the state budget by pushing all of our problems down to the local level. It's very nice for state legislators to go home. I've seen them many times, stand up and say, we didn't increase your taxes. And he gets a big hand. By not increasing our taxes at the state level, he very well may be forcing you to increase yours. Because it has a little problem. However, I feel it's important that we begin a dialogue between state and local governments. I've heard Virginia referred to as a high-tax state. Virginia has not increased the upper income bracket of 5.75% for 38 years. There has been no increase in gasoline tax for 23 years. Having said this, I believe the day is not far off, and Virginia must address our dwindling revenue resources. Looking forward to work with our new governor is certainly a priority with me. And no doubt he has his work cut out for him. And he has some very tough decisions to make. However, when all is said and done, we need a strong message to Wall Street that Virginia is indeed a AAA quality state. That we are one of the 7 states that has a AAA bond rating. We have to also remember that we are considered to be the best state in the nation to do business, the best state in the nation to raise a child, and the best managed state in the nation. We must be able to maintain all of those. And we must work to do all we can to offer aid to our localities. I know you have a very tough job. I admire you tremendously for the task that you undertake on the county board of supervisors. But the county supervisors, city council members, and town council members generally your constituents, you meet once a week or whatever, some of you every 2 weeks. Your constituents come to you face to face. In the General Assembly, we can go to Richmond, and we'll be at least 100 miles away from those folks, or more sometimes, and more than that. And maybe we don't have to face the heat that you do. But nevertheless, we certainly should be considerate of the task you have and do what we can to help our localities. And that's what I hope to do. Thank you very much.